Start it up.
Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness Season 2. What are we, episode 4?
I think so.
We're on episode 4 today. Yeah,
I think
episode 4.
so.
My bad, it's been a long day. On episode 4, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Big special guest.
Yeah,
so
big special
let's
guest.
do it.
Big special guest.
Amazing. I'm so happy to be here, guys. So I'm JPoet. I go by the name of Jesse Salvatore. Obviously, that's my actual name. And I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, and I'm also an owner of an independent record label.
Yes, sir.
So, being a creative, being an artist is so many job titles that are like associated with it. So I can, as we're going to get into, we do a lot. We're a jack of all trades, but the main thing about me is I'm an artist.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get it.
An entrepreneur, right? As a whole. And that's kind of
Absolutely.
why, we brought you on. I know me and you connected like a long time ago through like the Nightlife stuff, and then reconnected recently. And man, your story's been like pretty crazy. You've done some pretty insane stuff.
Outside of the box, for sure. Like,
way
not
outside
typical
the box.
stuff.
And that's kind of why we're excited to have you here, because I think that a lot of people will be interested to know, what you've done in the last few years. It's super, super outside the box. And then how that's kind of translated now into your business and what you're doing now. So I guess let's start from...
where do we start?
Yeah, where do we start? It's been crazy. But let's
you want to start at Nightlife?
Well, yeah, let's start there.
Because I think
guess,
it's funny because we've had a lot of people on the show that have started with Nightlife, including us,
No,
obviously.
100%.
Right, I think
Yeah.
that's
I think
the
it's-
mutual thing between us three, right?
I think that's kind of where like your entrepreneurial, I guess, journey started.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get into it. So I think obviously a little bit of background on myself. I did graduate from George Brown College. So I went to I have a business administration degree. So after I finished George Brown, I was actually one of my college mates. He gave me an opportunity to say, "Hey, 70 Down is this new club that just opened up. I know the owners. Do you wanna? You've been a really social guy at college. I think you'll be a great fit to be a promoter." So after college, went into being a promoter. At the time too, I worked at TELUS, right?
Yeah.
So I've been working at TELUS since I was 18 years old. So from 18 to 24, I was working at TELUS. So through even promoting and all that, I still had a full-time job.
Yeah. Smart. Good idea.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I lived downtown at the ICE condos. In order to afford that
there you go.
lifestyle,
So
I
you're
had
living
to
good.
work
Yeah,
freaking 9 to 9 like a zombie. So essentially that's kind of my background in business, working at TELUS and having that education. Then boom, went into entrepreneurship as a promoter. Yeah. I was just thinking last night, like I wanted to start this company. It was called Genuine Media. That was my promotion company, right? Back in the day. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, man. Like we're entrepreneurs, man. Like things that never really went to fruition, Genuine Media never got like to be successful as I wanted it to be, but just that whole process of trying to open a business, getting into promotions without even like ever having a background really into it, like I did all ages and stuff like that, but trying to take it serious, basically like it definitely was like a huge part of my journey,
For sure.
Being able to monetize off like my friend group, off my network, off like people I know. It was definitely a huge part of my journey. What do you guys think about?
Well, I feel like you were there, right? Like in the Nightlife, 70 Down, like we were going at it, and then it just like cut off, like it just like stopped, like pretty cold turkey. Like I want you to talk about that, because I think like when you cut there, and then what you did from that point on, even you know what I mean, even just for yourself spiritually, just for your own self-development, I think that's like the important part.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great. I want to hear your guys' opinion on this as well, being people who was in the industry. Like after working 2 years of being in the clubs, being around just drinking, alcohol, drugs, partying, and like late nights, like, it's mad fun, and like I had a condo downtown, so I'm hosting APs every night. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, at the end of the 2 years, I was like having mental health issues, okay? Mental health issues, okay? Like, no matter how fun it was, no matter how cool it was, no matter how much good memories it has, it would leave me, at least specifically, very drained, very like not understanding what's my purpose. Like, is this really what I'm meant to do? Like host these parties, have fun, be lit. But like, where's the real like substance in that life, you know? So basically that led me to like being kind of almost really depressed, you know? Although I had my own condo living this life a lot of people would dream to live, I really felt really horrible. And I told my mom, I was like, hey mom, like I'm in this quarter life crisis of mine where, you know, it might look good on the outside, I have a good job, everything's good, but I'm not feeling good, you know? And I had never meditated before. I never really practiced meditation and spirituality too heavy, but I had really been into it. You know, I've been researching it. I've always wanted to get into meditation. So I kind of took that opportunity to be like, you know what? Maybe let me see if this is going to work. Let me see if this is going to give me some clarity in my life, if this is going to make me feel better, if this is going to give me some direction. Because at that point, I felt really like misguided.
Yeah.
And I traveled to India for a month, and I did a 21 days in India, 15 days silent meditation retreat.
So sick.
So okay, maybe for people who don't know what that is, what is a silent
meditation?
meditation?
Hold on. But what made you want to take that step to like? You didn't just download a meditating app and try meditating, but like, you went straight to the top and like you're like, I'm gonna become a monk in 1 week. Like fuck this shit. Like what made you want to like, bro? Because you're in nightlife, like
yeah.
And also
like,
at that time,
it's different. Like you know what I mean? Like you go.
No, but even at that time,
you go from nightlife promoter to going to meditate for 2 weeks in a different country, right? Like it's a jump.
No, it's extreme. It's extreme, right?
Definitely something was happening, right? And I think you felt something needed to change.
But also, how did you find out about that? Because meditation, like now, meditation's like you're saying, the Calm app, everyone's meditating now. It's different. Whereas that at that time, a couple of years ago, just wasn't as popular. So like, how the hell did you go from nightlife, working at TELUS, to being like, I'm going to India on a 15-day
you're really throwing curveballs at everyone at that point. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think like the people who really are close to me in my circle, they'll know like, okay, although I was a big party guy, although like I could be that very extroverted person, a lot of the times like I am a very like deep spiritual guy. So if you catch me on my ones when I'm not in that party mode, I am like doing research or I'm reading books. I've been reading books since I was like 12 years old, self-help books, Paulo Coelho, like
come on, okay,
you know, like all types of books, The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz. Like my uncle influenced me from when I was 12 to start already getting into self-help. Wow. So I did have a lot of foundation going through all these things in my life, like to kind of know, okay, what are some things that people are doing? They're reading, they're meditating, they're practicing religions to kind of discipline themselves. So I always had it in the back of my head, but I kind of just, like we were saying, it's extreme, right? So it was like I was feeling extremely like down and depressed. So it's like I'm not gonna see results
by something little.
Yeah. Hey, let me just push myself to try to do a meditation every day. Like I was probably, if I did that, I probably wouldn't have lasted a week of consistency. Yeah. But actually throwing myself into the wolves, it was like, you asked me how it was. It was like a military thing. Yeah. Like it's literally like military. Like you ring the bell at 7 a.m. You gotta be in 15 minutes. You gotta be ready inside the meditation room. Meditation room is there. It's 2 hours. You're silent. You're not allowed to talk. Wow. Meditate for 2 hours, and it's like guided with the guru there. After that is breakfast at 10. You eat your breakfast. You have like a 15-minute to shower and get ready. Then you do, I think, an activity from 11 to 12. 12 is lunch, half an hour. Back to 2-hour meditation. After the 2-hour meditation, 2 hours yoga. So then that's like 4 to 6. So then 6 o'clock is you're done yoga. You get a little dinner time, and then after dinner time, last night meditation, and then you'll have an assignment every night to do for homework after that meditation to have ready for the morning.
That's fucking crazy.
Okay, and you can't use your phone. You can't use your laptop.
Yeah. So what were those parts of it? What were like the guidelines for it? Like what? You can't talk to people. Can't.
Yeah. So it was an amazing experience, guys. Like honestly, beautiful experience. Like I was the youngest guy there by far. Like okay, this is 2017, so now I'm like 23 years old. Okay. You know, being out there. Yeah. There's a 56-year-old. Famous artist from Korea, you know what I'm saying, who was kind of going through her midlife crisis with her husband, and she's like on this meditation retreat even though she's like a rich artist. There's this girl from a yoga teacher from USA. So I'm on this journey with all these random people, but we can't talk to each other, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So you can't speak at all.
We can't. Like the rules
at all for all 15 days.
Even
no
to
one
the
says
gurus.
a peep.
because that's the thing. Your schedule's set for you. The food's there, the meditation's there.
But they're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy I have to guide you somehow, right?
Yeah. They're teaching you the lessons. They're giving you lessons and teaching you all that.
So for 15 days, however many hours that is, you don't say a fucking word.
Yeah. And what's the point of that, right? Why would you go and do that? Well, I'll tell you guys, it's like when you're silent or you're not distracted, even you're not with technology, you know, it's like you get to really understand, what is my mind thinking about? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, like, we don't actually spend time to actually know what is the major reoccurring themes that are going on in our mind, right? But when you're silent, you're forced. You don't have no distraction. You don't have, let me check my phone. Yeah. You're sitting with yourself for 15 days. So you're going to really realize, what do I think about on a day-to-day, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what the whole thing is like, you're going to realize, what are you so attached to? What are the things that are like so weighing down heavily on you that you're not acting normal because like these things are affecting you?
Yeah.
So it was amazing. Like, I got to spend that time and really realize, like, you know, it really was the start of my journey. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, from that time, learning how to meditate till now, like, I've had to dissolve so many things about myself, and I've learned so much more after the fact. But I went there and I learned the techniques. I learned why it's important to stay silent, you know, why it's important to disconnect with all that. And I feel like it was so life-changing. Mm-hmm. It gave me a lot of peace, clarity.
It's crazy, bro.
And like, at that time, I wasn't
needed, bro. It was needed.
It was needed. Yeah. And at that time, I was working for TELUS, and I was, as a promoter, I wasn't an artist, you know, like, I was not into music. It was always my childhood dream.
Yeah.
But at that time, I had no idea that I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah. Like, you didn't go there with that intention. You just went there just like to clear everything up. To clear your mind. And were you scared being like, I'm just taking a flight to India. Like, let me just see what happens. Like, what were your feelings going into it? I'm just curious, because that's crazy. Like,
it was,
you know what I mean? Like, that's nuts. Like, and coming from the Western world, it's just like, you get over there,
by yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't go with a friend. Like, you just went head first into that.
Yeah.
What were you feeling? Like, were you just like?
It was such a beautiful experience, man. Like, I just can't position it any other way. Like, just those memories in my head, being on the plane by myself. I can remember, like, the song, The Weekend, Reminder. You know, that was my track for that. So that was the time, 2017. I was in the airplane by myself with my headphones in, going to India, listening to that song, like, and just going to the airport by myself. They have all these statues and everything. It's just like, it was surreal. Like, being alone, I think, added to this whole experience, and it was so essential, because it was like, I wasn't going there to have fun. I wasn't going there. I was going there. I just been having fun 2 years, after parties, drugs, alcohol, everything under the sun. So I was going there for like, isolate from society, you know? Yeah. So it helped with that experience, being alone.
Okay, you know? So you do that. Now you come back. What happens from there? Because a lot of things change from that point, right?
Yes. So I think one of the things that I kind of set the intention is like, all right, like, you don't want to climb the corporate ladder at TELUS. Like, I'd already become a manager. I was already top salesman in Canada. I was like, I could have been area manager, do that. But I'm like, I'm not going to spend 25 years for a corporation, you know? So I really set the intention, was like, what am I going to do with my life? You know, I'm not going to be a promoter. I'm not going to do this. Like, what am I going to do? So spending all that time alone, I did reflect, and I was like, since I was a kid, I always wanted to be on TV. I was like always in the talent shows. I was always in the musicals. I was always like begging my mom, hey, can you take me to this audition? Oh, I heard this on the radio. I want to go try it, you know? So it came back to me, and it's like, hey, this is what your heart is calling you to do. Like, this is what you've always wanted to do. So like, and 2017, everyone's coming rappers too. Like, this is this scenario where everyone's being an artist, right? Yeah. So it's like, you could do it too, man. This is something that you actually always wanted to do. So I came back home, and I think that was one of the major things, was like, it was March, the end of March, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to follow my dream and be a musician. And I came home. I was basically Jesse the Poet. I wasn't JPoet. Like, now I'm JPoet. I used to first come up as Jesse the Poet. So I made my first song as Jesse the Poet. June 29th, 2017 was my birthday. I released my first single. Dope. And I got my foot into the door. Gift, fam. You know what I'm saying? I threw a party. I was still club promoting at that time. So I did like album release, club, birthday.
Yeah, after party, pre-party,
made money off it, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So that's what happened. And man, like, at Jesse the Poet there, I didn't see the success in the artistry as I wanted it to, you know, but I still was like, yo, this is my dream, right?
Yeah.
So I had to go back to the drawing board, and, you know, I had to travel many more times, as we're going to get into, like throughout these past 3 years. Like I've consistently kind of always left the country whenever I'm feeling like I need to grow, I need to evolve. Like, okay, I'm reaching a ceiling here. I can only be here. Like I'm not being able to see the results that I want to see. I need to grow as an individual. I need to break down these walls in my head that are stopping me.
So how does that help you really to break those walls? Because for me, when I travel, I feel like I grow because I learn more about the place that we're at, or the people there, or the way they eat, or the way they talk, or anything like that. So that's kind of growth for me. But is it the same for you? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think definitely the people, man, is like I think the biggest thing, I think, like, I go to Ecuador a lot. We're gonna get into it, and it's like when I went to Ecuador, I find that, man, the people, when people support you and people receive you in a certain way, it's like, it's really empowering. And I find right here, like at home, everyone grew up with you. Everyone wants to kind of see you as the same person that they've always seen you as, right? So they're not going to give you like this like reinforcement that, hey, you know, you're doing good, you're doing it big.
You can change.
You've transformed, or like, you know, or even just giving you like some re-encouragement, right? But when you go to these other countries, they see Americans like us, they see us, they're like, yo, these guys are stars. You know? They're stars. And when you get received like that, you're like, wow, people around the world are really genuine. They're really nice. They want to support. They see you. You have courage. You have confidence. You're ready to come to another country, and you're ready to like socialize. They admire that, and they're like, "Oh, can I follow you? Can I think like, oh, what? You're an artist?" It's like, it's such a big thing.
Of course.
Whereas here, it's kind of downplayed. So it's better energy, man, when sometimes when you leave the country.
Well, because then you get there, right? And you're like, I remember you're like dropping these videos and shit, and you're with these girls who like probably had no idea who you were. But you come with that energy, and you're accepted as that person now. You know what I mean? Where it's not like you're trying to change an old narrative. You're in a new place where they're just like, oh, this is who he is. Like, hey, I'm JPoet. I'm an artist. That's the first thing they know you as, right?
Exactly.
But it's accepted. It's a lot easier to be accepted that way.
Exactly, and it can be anywhere. It can be anywhere in the world. You know, Ernesto, we were just talking about Mexico, right? I'm sure it's probably the same. Like
for sure.
You go to Mexico, everyone's like, you are who you present yourself to be. You know, moment, and if you're presenting yourself as a really nice character, people are gonna receive you like that. But back home,
well, you said something important too. Like the people who have been in your life a long time, they always want to see you the same way they've kind of seen you their whole life. But that usually comes from other people that aren't growing. Right. No offense to everyone that feels that way, but if you feel like him, for example, if I wanted him to be the same way I met him, what's the point of that? Like, what kind of support is that?
Amazing
same thing as you, or whatever it might be, right? But I feel like that's an issue because the people closest always want to see you in that same fashion too. Right. It's usually because they're not doing anything themselves, but sometimes it's out of love too. But like I said, like it's a tough place to be in, right? Like you're going to the next country, you're trying to meet new people, and it sucks that you can't have that here. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And I feel like Toronto's like, it's like a special place for that kind of aspect, because a lot of people say that it's very competitive here. Not too many people support each other here. Everyone's in competition. Everyone thinks that the world is just everything you see right here.
Okay,
right?
well, you know what? I'm going to come on record. I'm trying to change the paradigm, all right? And I've been thinking about this past few days. It's like, literally, as a man, I want every other man to do better than me.
It's on record, though.
I want you guys to be stronger. I want you guys to be smarter. I want you guys to be more peaceful, more harmonious, more successful, taller, more handsome, everything. I you know, it's like we need to grow as a society, you know? And if I want to hold everything for myself, then it's like, how is anyone going to grow, right?
Of course.
How are we as a society going to push forward?
Of course.
The future is in the next child. The future is in, you know, the next generation.
Of course.
And like, we are the current generation, so we are the future. But then that's our responsibility to now pave the way.
100%.
You know, to keep it going.
I wanna kick it back to now, like the business side of it, for a second. So you become an artist. You say you're not really getting the love, right? I want to talk about like the playlist stuff and how that kind of kickstarted your career, because I think that's important, and a lot of artists will, you know, be able to eat off of that same hustle, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So maybe get into a little bit of that, because I really want to touch point on that.
Okay, so 2017 album flops, or the 3 singles that I dropped flop. kind of like not going the way I want it. Then I say, okay, you know what? I got to rebrand as JPoet. So then I'm like, all right, I'm taking this stuff seriously. I quit my job. I quit TELUS completely. So this is like 2018 is when I was really like, all right, you know what? I'm going all in. I'm quitting my work. I'm quitting all other distractions. I'm just going to be 100% artist. So at that time, I put all my energy and resources, guys. I saved so much money from TELUS. I invested like 20K to make my album. I put everything together. Got features from these artists. Boom, boom, paying for music videos, all this. Again, flop.
Crazy,
That album, I put so much energy into it, everything. Like first week results, embarrassing, you know? And it's crazy because I was such a socially connected person. Like I'm bringing out 100 people a night to go to an event, you know what I'm saying? I'm so connected, and it's like, damn. In a month, only like 200, 300 people is listening to my music. Like, are you guys crazy?
Yeah,
like, I know so many more people. No one's freaking clicking my links. So it was like, it was frustrating.
Of course.
You know, it was super frustrating. Like, I was, again, getting into a very low point where it's like, man, what the F?
Yeah.
Like,
what do I got to do here? What I got to do here to get this done?
Yeah, and I was so mad at my friends and just like the culture and everything. I'm just like, man, no one's supporting me. No one's getting behind me, this and that. I was so upset. And it's like, and I was with my two boys and they're feeling the same. We're all artists. They're all like, man, our friends aren't receiving us. They're not like, yo, we're lit. Like we have amazing music. We're like so passionate, and like no one's receiving us. Yeah. So we're so. This is a funny story, guys. This is gonna be a long story now. Okay?
No, it's important, man.
Yeah. So we're fed up. Okay, I dropped my album August 2018. Like literally within 2 weeks, I was so dissatisfied of the results that I like stopped promoting anything, stopped the campaign. I just went ghost off the map. And in that time, I'm like with my boys in the basement, you know, we're like just cheese plotting on what we're gonna do. And you know what we said? We said, yo, we're gonna go to LA. Can I swear on here?
Yeah,
I say, yo, fuck Toronto. You know, I said, we all say, yo, I love Toronto. We're gonna get back into this. Right now, I think Toronto's one of the best places in the city. But at that time, I was like, yo, fuck Toronto. You know, no one's showing us love. There's no opportunity here. Let's go to LA, the city of dreams. Yeah. You know?
Let's go. Let's go.
I had a Volkswagen Passat and I said, yo, we're packing this car. We're taking a road trip. We're driving to LA. Okay. So me and my two boys, we freaking pack the car, tripods, speakers, microphones. Like, bro, let me tell you, like, this Passat was so full that my friend had like this much of a seat in the back seat. Like, he was just posted up there. Okay. So we get to the border.
You're Paul Michael, so I want to make sure we get you there.
Yeah. So we get to the border, all right, like at the U.S. border at Niagara Falls, and we're like, we have the car packed, we're ready to go. We tell our whole family, guys, we're gone. Road trip to the U.S. We saved our money. You're not gonna see us for 6 months. All right, we're gone. Get to the border. You know, the border agent's like, hey, what are you guys doing? You know, I was the one who was talking. I kind of made a mistake here, right? So he's like, hey, where are you guys going? I said, yeah, we're taking a road trip. I got some friends and family out in New York. You know, we're going to go check them in New York. We're just going to go do a road trip. And he's like, oh, all right, man. Can I see your phone? Like, can I see where you're staying, right? So I give him my phone. You guys, I don't know if you guys watch Border Patrol or whatever, but these guys are crazy.
Of course.
So this guy takes my phone, goes on my Instagram, goes on my Facebook, reads all my text messages, and I'm telling people, yo, I'm going to LA. Yo, I'm leaving Canada. Yo, blah, 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 blah. Like, I literally on my Instagram, it's like, peace out, Canada. Never seeing you again.
Wow.
So this guy's like, oh, so you're telling me you're going to New York for 1 month, but it says right here that you're never coming back to Canada and you're going to be in LA. And he's like, so you're lying to me? Yeah. Right? And you can't lie to the border agent, right? Boom. So boom. It's hectic, right? He's giving us the hardest time. And long story short, essentially, yo, we got banned from 6 months. They told us,
come on,
get your ass back right now. And because you're lying at the border, because you guys are acting crazy, you guys are not, they made us sign a paper, you guys are not allowed to come back to the border for another 6 months.
Fuck.
Jeez.
So we're at Boston Pizza now, at Niagara Falls, okay? With a car, right? Niagara will do, right?
We'll do Niagara.
With a car packed full of shit. And we're like, yo, we just told our family we're gone for 6 months. Yeah. Like, we can't go back and look at everyone in shame. Like,
that's posted on the ground,
right? Exactly. We tell all of our friends we're gone. Like, yo, what are we gonna do, right? So, yo, you know what we decided to do? We're gonna go to BC. I said, yo, if we can't go make it to the West Coast in the United States, we're gonna make the West Coast in BC. So at least we can drive there. There's no border or nothing. We're just gonna go. We start driving there like immediately. We just touch back home, start driving there right away. Car breaks down in Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh my God.
Car starts making this crazy noise in Sault Ste. Marie. Okay?
Okay.
So at that point, I'm like, guys, there's some bad omens. Like, this is not meant to happen. Like, let's just bite the bullet, go home, regroup, tell our family what happened, and then we're going to figure something out, right? Because we still really wanted to leave. Like, the underlying emotion between us all was like, we're fed up. We're so sick of this, like, vibe right now. Like, we need to get out. So we still had that intention when we came home. And then it was like, yo, where are we going to go? And I says, well, we can't go to BC. We can't go to the States. I think, like, the best option for us might be we go to Ecuador.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Like completely like the city of Los Angeles, you know, like it's like we came, like, obviously we're gonna go chase opportunity in LA, and now we're gonna go to Ecuador, which is like, it's like a
total opposite,
South American country. There's no opportunities for artists and stuff like that. But we said, you know what, we need to get out. We need to, like, just transform. We need to get in our own element, you know, have fun and like just get out, right? So and it was cheap. Like, as I've been telling you guys, like, South America is mad cheap. Like, for me to live 1 month in LA, I can live 3 months in Ecuador, right? So we're like, yo, it's a good play. We can save some money. So boom, October 2018, we went to Ecuador for 3 months. And that's pretty much where, like, my career started, you know? Is like, through that whole experience, like, I'm still reaping the fruits off of my labor from almost that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we went to Ecuador, and essentially, like, as you're saying, like, we came with that intention. Like, we brought our camera, we brought our studio. Like, yo, we're gonna record, we're gonna shoot videos, we're gonna be active, we're gonna show everyone back home, like, yo, we're taking this serious, right? So that's what we did. We transformed our bodies. We like worked out super hard. We'd always make sure we get Airbnbs with gyms. We worked out. We transformed the body. We had the studio set up at our Airbnb. We made lots of music. And then this is where it gets into the playlisting, is right, like, literally the day before we left, I logged onto my Apple Music stats, right? You can kind of go log on to artist.apple.com. So I logged onto it, and I seen, like, although I thought my album had flopped, Trap Pop, right? I looked and it had like 20K plays. And at that time, I was like, we were shocked, you know? Yeah. We never seen 20K plays before. We were at like hundreds of plays. So we were like, yo, 20K plays, where did this come from? You know? And then it just so happened that I had made one playlist randomly for myself. Yeah. And it caught. And all the 20K playlists it showed, it came from the one playlist that I made. Damn. So then I was like, I had a little eureka moment with the light bulb. Where I'm like, yo, this one playlist I made gave me 20,000 plays. So I said, shit, let me make 5. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then I just made 5. And then next week I noticed,
numbers up
those
again.
5 caught, you know? And then I was like, yo, I'm in Ecuador. I'm like, all right, yo, guys, let's all make these. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is working. Yeah. So we all, from that 3 months that we were there, we were banging them out, like crazy, punching out playlists. Like, I think we must have made probably 1,000 by the time we left in those 3 months. And it caught. Our numbers were starting to spike. I think in January, I made over $1,000 for the first time in 1 month off music. And we were tripping. We were like, what? We're on vacation. We're making residual income. Like, we're broke. We're so broke. In Ecuador, we were so broke. But then money was falling from the sky. All of a sudden, like,
falling from the sky.
You know? Residual income came into our life. We're like, yo, what's going on? And yeah, man, from there, essentially, like, I learned how to make plays. So as I was saying in the very beginning, is like, this journey of being an artist turned me into like a jack of all trades. Like, now I'm a playlister. I'm one of the top independent Apple Music playlisters in the world, right? And it's like, I was trying to be an artist. I was just trying to get my records played. I wasn't trying to be the playlist, like top independent playlister on Apple, but it's like that journey gave me that skill, and kind of like, now it's my bread and butter. It's kind of like my second business is playlisting. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yo, that's insane.
What I like about that, and what's important is, I think, especially, this is, with any business, there's competition everywhere, and a lot of it. And especially in the creative world, when it comes to being an artist, there's crazy amounts of competition. It's not enough anymore just to have a good sound. You need to also be a business person behind that good sound, or work with a team of business people that are going to help you handle that side of it. Because it's not just, I'm just making good music and it catches. Like, there's just so much out there that's thrown in people's faces, especially by the big labels who are controlling what you see and hear.
Right.
If you're independent, like, you better be on it and figuring out creative ways to get your music out. And if for you it was playlisting, right?
Yeah, and exactly right. It was like if your music's not getting played, you got to figure it out. Like, how am I gonna get my music in the ears of the consumers? And that's where I was kind of like, that's where I was putting myself into, like, okay, how do people listen to music, right? And I was dealing with a few business partners at that time who were kind of already managing big artists, and like they had some experience, and they were kind of giving me the game, like, yeah, man, it's all about these playlists. Like, if you can get on these playlists, you're gonna get mad plays. And I'm like, well, if I can't get on the playlist,
make the playlist,
right? Let me think, like, yo, what are people searching? Like, and that's really what it is, guys, is like, how I got successful with the playlist is like, I was at my own dinner, like a family dinner, and I'm like, everyone's relying on me to play music that day, and I didn't have like music catered to the party. So I'm like, shoot, like, what am I gonna do to get some good playlists for these guys? That was the first time I actually needed a playlist. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, what do I search right now to kind of fit the vibe of this party? And then I realized every second there's 1,000 people like me who are looking at their phone trying to think of what they need to type into to find the vibe.
Of course.
Yeah. So I need to match the sentence of the playlist to the vibe of whatever someone might be feeling.
All those different vibes.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, are you at a party? Are you at a restaurant? Are you, are you interested in the top 100? Are you like, want hip hop?
There's a dinner party, jazz vibes, like whatever, all this shit.
Focus, homework, focus.
Do you call songs? Do you search songs or music or hits or playlists, tracks? Or exactly, jams. So I get into
jams on Apple. Yo, live jams.
I get into it. I'm like, yo, what's the mind of the consumer? Like, what are these people thinking of? And it works.
I think that's what you have to do at that point too, because I think a lot of people, entrepreneurs in general, but even artists, they're thinking about themselves the whole time. They're just thinking about, why is no one listening to my music? What, my music's sick. I love my music. Why is no one listening to it? And they don't stop and think, what about the person that has to listen to my music? What do they think?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the kind of moment that I think you stopped and thought about when that playlist happened. And you're like, damn, if I'm doing this, other people
how do people search for music?
But you didn't even let your ego get in your way as well, because technically you were an artist. You were already making music. So to kind of go a little bit backwards, or not even backwards, I think, to another side of it and start making playlists. Bro, I know artists that would be like, bro, I'm not making no playlists.
Bro, I give everyone the game. Like, yo, this is how you do it, right? But like, people just don't have the patience.
It's important.
It's hard work, though.
It's
hard
patience.
Work, right?
Like, just to click buttons over and over and over. People are like, yo, I can't do this, man.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
little do
my
they know
thing.
that can help their dream, right? And that's what you've kind of done, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. It gives me the platform to literally get my music in the ears of fans. To me, it's a beautiful thing. I have a network of people who like my taste in music, and they like are following up with me every week to see, what my taste of music is, what like they trust me into like their sound selection.
And so you're you're updating these, you're creating new ones. Like, what's the play on that side? Like,
so it's heavy, man. I just did a really big maintenance, which was amazing because it was getting hectic. I had a 1.4 thousand playlists.
Jeez.
And like, you have to update each one manually. So literally you have to delete all the songs off of it.
And then add them all?
And then re-add it all.
You can't just add one to it and be like, yo, this guy just added the... Like, I'm saying, if there's a new track that comes out...
Imagine you do that to 4,000 of them. So it's like, and then to do
that,
but it's really a long process. So like a lot of the times I'm working like 72 hours in a week. Just...
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep track of what's been on that playlist.
Watching Netflix and
and then just trying to figure out also though, like, what's hot, what's gonna fit in that playlist.
We talked
what
about
makes
this too before. Like, how often do you, I guess, update them?
So I try to definitely at least do it once a month for sure, a monthly update. And then typically like for top 100 and hip hop, which will be like the two biggest genres, I'll update them twice within the month.
Okay.
And then.
I would like a lot of work though.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, probably like tedious stuff too, right? But that's a part of it, right?
Yeah. It's kind of fun,
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is like, it's crazy. I had a vision like when I was young of being like a playlister. It's crazy. I think I was telling you guys last time is like, I loved making CDs as a kid. I loved being that guy who had all the music that you didn't have, I searched for it and I'm like, yo, I got this hit. Yo, Gucci Man just released a new song. Like I grew up like that, So I always had that passion to like playlist curate. Even when like I had my iPod, I used to freaking love making playlists on my iPod and stuff, And I always felt like, yo, I like doing this and I'm good at doing this.
Yeah.
I had that emotion young.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that somehow in the manifested in the future,
course.
like it became a business of
Yeah.
mine of like actually just making playlists.
It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
So
But it's fun.
So now you have the business down packed. The music starts popping. You're doing your playlist stuff. That's all going good. Now I want to talk a little bit about social media, because you're also killing the social media game as well. You got the blue check mark. You know, you got how many followers? You got like bare followers. Your engagement's super high. Like maybe talk a little bit about that and like the importance of what that did for you, not only as an artist but even as an entrepreneur in general, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I've been working on my Instagram. Like a lot of people don't realize is like I've been working on my Instagram since I was at least 18.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing my Instagram, it's like 8 years of work. You know, it's like before I was ever an artist, I was always trying to get a good social media following and try to like have a good social presence. So I think I've had over 10,000 followers since I was in high school, to be honest with you, right? So I've been really building my Instagram for a long time. So like in that sense, I've had tons of engagement, tons of profile business through all these years, right? This is like almost 10-year profile, right?
Yeah.
So through those 10 years, I've learned a lot, right? It's like I've learned how to create engagement. I've met other influencers and interact with other influencers and see, okay, how are they doing it? So through this whole time, I kind of picked up a lot of the tricks of the trade, and now it's like another business that I'm into. It's like I consider myself to be kind of like a social media guru. And if you need help to get organic engagement, if you want to boost your numbers, it's like these are things that are my specialty. And it's coming from even from before music, trying to build up the Instagram. I learned a lot through that, just trying to use like, I'm gonna be transparent, you know what I'm saying? Like people use apps. Back in those days when I was getting followers, I was doing follow for follow with apps. I used to follow 1,000 people, then I would unfollow all 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I grinded out for my first few 10K. I was doing weird shit like that to grind it out.
Yeah.
You know?
It's part of the game though.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
And in the end, like a lot of people ask me, yo, how are you verified? Like, you know, like they're shocked, you know, they always think I paid for it, but it's like, my account has had amazing engagement for 8 years. You know, it's like, it's an account that I've been working on, you know? Yeah. So things take time, you know, in order to get like verification or...
Well, how did that come? How did the blue check mark? I know we spoke about it, but...
Yeah, it's super cool. Like literally, guys, I was in Ecuador. And
oh shit, you're in Ecuador too, eh?
Yeah, I was.
Everything happened there.
I'm telling you guys,
Ecuador tomorrow, dude. I'm going to Ecuador tomorrow. Dude.
It's the middle of the earth. There's something special about it, right?
Fair,
it's on the equator, right?
Fair,
so it's like it's a special land. So I was there, and just like in good spirits, meditating every day. You know, like that was a good time. And then in your settings, you can, I don't know if you guys know, some people might not know, but in your settings, there's a button that says request verification. So at any time, you guys can try, you know, and literally that's...
Try your best, guys.
Try
your best, guys.
Yeah, man, like, hey, a lot of people every 2 weeks, they're pressing that button with no luck, you know, but, you know, try, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I tried. I remember, I think I tried 2 times. I didn't get it. And then the third time I tried it. And then, one day I woke up. And literally it was the coolest thing. I opened Instagram and there's a little gray box and it says, you have now been verified or something like that. Bro, I was so excited. I didn't screenshot it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, shit, because that's like a once in a lifetime message, you know? But I literally requested it. And then in a few weeks, magically
magically.
Like the Instagram gods came and was like, all right, man.
All right,
even
this man's in
working your
Ecuador.
account
Okay, I
for
see this
8
man in
years, you know what I'm
Ecuador.
saying?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
That's dope.
So,
but okay, like we talk about it all the time. I mean, social media is huge for this segment and just our business in general. But how has social media opened new doors for you as well? Have people hit you up because of your following, because of your engagement, and said, yo, this guy's more legit than I probably think. Let me hit him up. Right? Like stuff like that. Like having that blue check now, bro, like I said, you can hit up artists and more than likely get a response now, other than if you were just a local artist trying to hit someone up that was verified with millions of followers, might be a bit tough, right? So how has that helped you, I guess, open doors for life and just business too?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You hit so much nails on the head. It's like, it's like I don't agree with it because everyone should get the chance. You know, your numbers and the verification shouldn't have the element,
talk about how life
but
works.
The facts is, the facts is that like people receive you in such a different way when you have high numbers and you have high statistics or you're verified. It's like they wouldn't give you the time of the day like most people wouldn't give you the time of the day if you didn't have it, right?
100%. That's why I wanted to ask you that, right? Because I knew there was probably some changes, or
It's like a social value. It's like a way to
like did people start looking at you differently too, even
Yeah.
close people and I guess people that you didn't know.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's sad, but it's true, and it's like. It's essential in today's age. Like, you know, it's just kind of reaffirms, okay, you know, it reaffirms that, you're taking your stuff serious, you know?
Yeah.
Regardless is like, if you have these credentials, you know, these followings, it's like, regardless of what it is, you're trying really hard. You know, you care about your social presence. You want to make a business out of yourself. You're putting your best foot forward to like, you know, have a good representation.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, people respect that for sure. People are gonna see that, and people are like, they're gonna take you more serious. And I definitely noticed, like, since I got verified and since I got over like the 100K is just like, you know, it's a nice number because it's over it's triple digit. Yeah, man. People like, they're gonna receive you. They're just like, they feel like you can give them something.
Exactly.
You have an opportunity. They feel like I have the opportunity, you know. And it's like, I do Instagram automation. Let's say, for example. So I do Instagram automation where it's like I have my Instagram liking, commenting, and watching people's stories, right? Yeah. And it's like, because my account is verified and it has all this following, people are gonna hit me up because they're like, or they're gonna repost. Like every day, I have people repost me because they're like, "Yo, this guy watched my story. He's verified. I watched my story." But it's like, if I was just a regular guy with 1,000 followers,
no shot.
They wouldn't care. They wouldn't even notice me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's cool because now when I'm doing this automation stuff, I'm seeing higher return of investment. I'm seeing more engagement because I have these assets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing thing. Definitely.
Yeah, but that's even you taking the step saying, you know what, like, I'm an artist. I do the playlist, but this is how my social even boosts that side of things, right? You're doing the automation, you have the high numbers, you have the over 100,000, you have your verification. Someone clicks your page, your whole page is, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Basically.
Right.
Now they're more likely to go and click and listen now.
Absolutely. Listen to your music, you know?
They might not like it, they might love it. And you've either gained a fan or you haven't, but
you listen.
You've got a stream. You got brand recognition.
You've given the people you've put them in a place where you've like forced them to at least listen, and then that's where they'll make their decision, yes or no. But you've done all the work in the back end to make that possible. Again, going back to artists, but even just other businesses and entrepreneurs in general. Whether you're an artist, you do this or that. You got to figure out your way of funneling people into looking at your product or your service, and then letting them make the decision of, do I like it? Do I not? Do I want to use it? Do I not? Right?
Right.
But it's that whole back end that you've done and set up for
creating opportunity.
Yeah, it's creating opportunity for you, but even opportunity while you sleep type of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You get paid by how many people listen to what you do, right? Listen to your music, the plays, this and that. But it's all the automation, all the building you've done in the back end where you're going to sleep and maybe there's people in Ecuador, China, here, Russia, this, that. They're listening to your music, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. We got to hustle hard. We got to think of how we can work smart, not hard, right? That's like the number one thing is like, imagine watching all those people's stories and liking all these random people's posts and comment like that's gonna take up hours of your day,
of course,
and time.
We know,
right?
we know.
So time is money, right?
Course.
So it's like it's especially when you don't have a team, you're an entrepreneur, you're by yourself. It's like you got to figure out with your own two hands and with your 24 hours and with the technology that you have, how you can stretch it and how you can maximize on it.
Yeah.
And I like how you said, even when we were going back to a little bit, the verification, opening doors, that kind of stuff. You said you don't agree with it, but you still do it.
Yeah.
Because why? Because you know that if you don't agree with it, that's fine, but it's still happening in the world.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that's something we bring up a lot too, just people that don't agree with it. And that's fine, because obviously like social media is taking over the fucking world. And there's a lot of people that don't appreciate it, but it's still gonna happen, whether you like it or not.
And you guys being in digital marketing, like I'm sure you guys tell your clients, like, this is our goal.
It can't be a biased thing. Like you can't be personal about it. Like you said, you didn't agree with it. But if you took that personally and said, because I don't agree with it, I don't care about social media,
I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
So it's kind of like you have that bias about it, and it's everyone can have that bias about it, but at the end of the day, you still have to make a decision.
You got to play the game.
Exactly.
You got to play the game.
Or you're just gonna watch.
100%. Because you're also sitting here saying like, I want to change the paradigm. Like you're trying to put that on record. You can't do that as a guy, unfortunately, with 1,000 followers, no recognition in any sense.
Yeah.
Fine, play the game until you build that platform.
Exactly.
Now you have something to stand on when you go ahead and try and change things or make change in the world in whatever way you want, right? Business, life, whatever it ends up being, right? You wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't play the game, essentially, quote unquote, to give
Dance
yourself
with
that
the
foundation.
devil. You know, you gotta dance with the devil, man.
Play the game before the game plays you, dude. No?
Come on,
Trust
dude.
me. Play the game before the game plays you.
Yeah,
No,
man,
it's true though, and that's something that I always bring up, like on my personal shit, on my socials, and it just like because I talk to so many people about it, and I just see how they react when it comes to social media, right? And just a lot of personal like just opinions about it. That's affecting their life and business. Like it's crazy, right? Like,
exactly.
I don't like doing it, so I'm not gonna do it. Like
their preferences.
But then
they feel
don't
like
complain that
this,
it's not helping your business.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Or don't complain that you haven't seen growth from it as a person or a personal brand, right? So, yeah, man, I think that people have to kind of just accept it at this point, bro. Like straight up and try and realize the opportunity on it, because you can, like you said, and like you just said, you can eventually leverage yourself up to finally say what you want to say, and people will actually care.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I think this is a good thing. Is like we were talking about this before we got into the podcast. Is like how businesses are tapping into the psychology of humans,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is exactly that.
Yeah.
A human psychology is going to see someone with numbers and automatically correlate, okay, this person has an opportunity for me. This person has something that they can give it to me. This person is someone that I should reach out to, right? Whereas, you know, you have someone on the opposite end, they're going to blow you off, right? They're going to think, oh, this person has no value.
Of course.
Oh, well, this can be the most smartest person, probably have the most connected person, but it's like, this person has a negative like follower ratio to following.
Nah.
Oh, I'm not even going to respond to this guy.
It could be with anything, man. You could be like a construction company.
Right.
And you have 150 followers. You're posting your pics every day, but you're not engaging with people. You have the best work, that you're the fucking best carpenter, let's say. Bro, there could be a carpenter who knows half as much as you do, but his social game is way up. He's getting your business all day, even though you do that job better and even maybe cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's the wolves.
It's the
wolves
wolves,
are here,
man.
right?
The wolves
The
are
wolves.
here,
The
bro.
wolves are here, bro.
And it's just the reality of it, right? And it's like we've just all been saying, just you gotta dance with the devil a little bit, but you'll put yourself eventually on a point where if you want to say something and speak out on what you feel, you have actually a platform to do it. Exactly. But people's personal opinions and their egos and their biases get in the way of them being successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I don't want to post this picture of myself, or I don't want to post this video that I recorded of myself doing this or saying that, which would help my personal brand or help my business, because I don't like the way I look. I don't like this about it, and I don't like that about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, fuck off. Post it. If you want to move in the right
Just
direction.
bare excuses, bro. Bare excuses,
the excuses
bro.
we've heard are crazy,
Bare excuses, bro. Like the
What's that person
excuses
gonna
that when you
think?
finally break it down to the person, they're like, okay, that's not an excuse anymore. Shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they really thought about it for more than 30 seconds, they'd be like, you know what? That's actually not an excuse, bro.
Yeah.
You're your worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know, we are our own worst
true.
enemy.
I'm going to India,
you
bro.
know?
I'm going to India.
Like,
I'm going to India. Fuck
straight
this.
up. Yo, Dean, book the tickets, bro. Book the tickets.
You gotta listen. When it comes to the social media, dance with the
Z
devil.
meditation.
Dance with the fucking devil. I've been doing laps with the devil, bro. I've been doing laps, not even dancing,
That's
bro.
it.
I'm doing laps.
That's
with
not
him.
even
overlap
swimming.
the devil
I
already.
mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. Man's in the past, right? But that's what it takes. Like you have to put your passion first, right? And you saw that. And I think that this is something I did when I was younger too. When I was on social media, it's something like I thought I was a psychopath, bro. I was like, yo, I'm like, I love getting this attention from social media. It was like Facebook and like a little bit of Instagram back in the day, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I love getting this attention, right? But people around me were looking at me like, bro, you're fucking weird, bro. Why are you going around following people you don't know, liking pictures, commenting on shit that you shouldn't be commenting on? I'm like, yo, I love it, bro. I'm gonna keep doing this shit. And bro, like I felt like a fucking weirdo the whole time. I'm like, yo, am I fucking weird for liking this social media shit? But I just kept at it. I just kept dancing.
Pioneer.
I just kept dancing with the devil, right?
Back in the fucking samba.
And you do that when you realize that you feel it deep down. You're like, I'm doing something right here, right? And that was like you with the music, bro. You're going around, you're going to different countries, and you had that drive in you because that little part of you said, no, you're doing something, right?
Yeah.
So I think dance with the devil, bro. If that's gonna help you be successful or chase that passion, dance with the devil. Don't worry about who's watching, because sooner or later it's gonna matter a lot more than everyone thinks. I think it matters a lot more right now than everyone thinks, but sooner or later, like those kind of decisions, like he just said about picking this guy carpenter, or picking this guy, that's that's happening right now. But people don't understand they're making decisions off those numbers that they see. They just don't believe it. I'm
They
like,
don't wanna
I'm like,
believe
I'm
it,
like,
yeah.
bro,
They don't
I've
wanna
been treated,
believe
I've
it.
been treated differently because of my social media. Every day I've been treated differently. That's a universal thing. It's not just me. It's not just you. It's not just him. It's not just Dean. You have that kind of social presence. You have that kind of engagement. You have that check mark. It's gonna open up doors for you. And
Yeah.
the only way to get there is to dance with that devil, right? So
I want to actually shout out. This is a perfect example. I want to fucking shout out the Nelk Boys, bro.
Oh,
if
man.
they ever get to watch this podcast or just even hear it,
Yeah.
yo, shout out to the fucking boys, because man, some kids from like wherever the fuck they're from, like
They're from Canada.
yeah, they're from Canada.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like
Mississauga. I think one of them's from Mississauga.
Mississauga, yeah, they're out. You know what I mean? They're not from like main Toronto. They're out from outside, right? Bro, they're on stage with Trump during his election rallies. Like, bro, those guys are the definition of toning out all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Toning out probably what their parents, their family, their friends were saying. Say, fuck you guys. Focusing on what their dreams are, their vision is. And a bunch of pranksters who are doing stupid shit in Walmart in Mississauga are, because of their social media and because of this brand they've built around themselves, they're in the Air Force One plane or whatever the fuck it's called, the presidential plane with Trump. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, look at the power of it.
But they gave no fucks.
But now
they're just like, I'm putting this
And
stuff out
that's-
there. It's
that's the
crazy.
secret.
People watching.
But now-
cool,
That's
let's
the
go.
secret.
But now-
they
Yeah.
don't give no fucks.
That's the
But
secret.
now tear that down and put it on a small level. Back to the carpenter. You really think that it doesn't matter if you're a carpenter and you have a good social media or you don't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If those guys can do it with social media and you're a legit business and you think you can't do it, like, just go to the Nelk Boys, bro.
Yeah.
Just go to their page.
Call them, yeah.
Anytime you think twice about the content you want to post and you're scared, go watch the Nelk Boys.
They went from
Go watch
literally
their
Right.
content because they weren't
Right.
scared of shit,
bro,
right?
but bro, like we're talking like pranking, like going in people's ears and moaning to meeting with the president of the United States. Yeah, from that to being on the president's personal plane with him.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, if you think as a small business, as a big business, that
Right,
your social
right.
media doesn't matter, you are like way
Right. Like he's
way
with the
off,
president
bro.
of the United States.
Like there's
you know
there's
what
probably,
I'm
they
saying?
were
Like,
doing
yeah.
those skits in classes
Like-
where those professors were probably like, these guys are gonna be in jail in the next 2 years.
Yeah, idiots,
now they're
yeah.
now they're like they're idols. Those professors idols. They're like, you got
Yeah.
to fucking talk to Donald Trump or the president, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. That's just one example. Those
Just
guys can
goes.
open any door they want, any single door they want.
Absolutely. And you know what I'm going to say is like this idea I've had this week is like, yo, you create your hype.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you create your hype. The MTV cameras, the news cameras, they're not going to roll on you until you create the hype.
Of course.
Yep.
When you create some type of vibe, some type of thing that's worth like attracting people to,
Yeah.
that's when the news camera is going to pick you up. That's when the press is going to pick you up.
Yeah.
And like we are all kind of into digital marketing, right? We do
course.
press, we do stuff like
Yeah.
that. So sometimes like to create that hype, it involves into like paying for that press and you know
It's an investment in yourself too. That's what it is, right?
right, but ultimately it's like it's all from our own two hands. Like
Yeah.
nothing like made our things cool. We made our things cool. We like human beings, we decide what is cool,
Yeah.
right? It's like right now you're gonna think, okay, this is cool and that's not cool, right? Like I like this shirt and I don't like this. I like this plant, but I don't. Like you decide what is cool, right?
Yeah.
So we can say right here, us three, be like, yo, you know what? Like this palm tree is the coolest thing in the world. It's the most beautiful palm tree in the world. And because us three are so passionate about this beautiful palm tree, like, yo, a million people in the world would be like, yo, I want to see that palm tree, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that sounds like the
crazy.
most craziest palm tree ever. Like, yo, we need to bring MTV and like get this
palm tree talking or some shit. Let's see
That's
if
what
we
I'm
can-
saying. Like, yo, hype is created. It's not.
Yeah.
Nothing is hype.
Yeah.
Hype is what you create the hype
Yeah.
to be.
And I think what's important about all that you're saying is we have the tools to do it in our hands. That's what social media
I feel like
is
no
about.
one wants to create their own hype though. Everyone's too cool to create their own
No,
hype.
but this is the point. Is it? Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
true.
Like
Yes.
they won't want to hype themselves because no
But
one's hyped them. And it's like, bro,
and it's hard though because it's like I try to create my own hype all the time,
Yeah.
but it's like, what can one man do? And you know what I mean? To be honest with you, how much hype can you do? And I've noticed with this week reflecting is like, you're gonna make the most hype when you have a team.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because even if it's just you and your boy or you and whoever, it's just like if you two are so in your world, it can be yourself. It can literally be yourself. If you have that much energy, that you're so in your own world and you so believe in yourself and you so believe that like, yo, whatever you're doing, whatever you got going on is the biggest thing in the world, that energy is gonna radiate.
Yeah.
But it's hard, you know, to radiate, especially on your own. So that's why I say if you have a team, if you have a few people that you guys are together, it's like we don't need no one else because we're bouncing off each other, like,
Correct.
and it's creating this like energy.
The hype, creating your own hype starts from the energy, but then as I'm saying, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're free. You don't have to pay for them to post. You don't have to pay to post. Your phone, okay, you have to pay for a phone, but everyone in the world has a phone at this point.
And get creative, no?
That's
have
it,
to
man.
get creative.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the tools are there. Like, the tools are there. You have your phone. You have the social media platforms where the hype is created. You have your phone to create the hype because the cameras on there are like better than a camera you buy from Best Buy. Like, so create now. Now this is where the hard work comes in, getting creative and actually executing on it.
All it takes is just to think.
Anybody can do it.
Thinking.
Anybody can do it. Anybody. No excuses.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people try and they get discouraged because they don't see the results that they want. You know,
right away.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and even it's like if you're not
go back to that. You said you were doing your social for 8 years, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order to like figure out how to actually properly do stuff. Yeah, it took me a long time, and there's been times where it's like, shit's going wrong. I gotta delete the post. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? You know, like this is horrible. You know, but now it's like, okay, you're getting that comfort. But yeah, good things take time, right, to build.
Of course, and we see that a lot. We see people get discouraged after like one post or 1 week of being active. Or you gotta remind these people, bro. Some people have been doing like Nelk Boys. How long have they been going at it for? When they start their first video?
Man, I think 2012 was the beginning for them. So 8 years.
So people were looking at them for 7-8 years like they were nuts.
Yeah.
Without getting that kind of credit yet. But sure, kids thought they were funny and shit, but like I'm saying Donald Trump credit, you know what I mean? Like,
but you know,
they did that for that long.
Yeah, they did.
They were putting out that kind of content.
It takes 5 years. Like you need 5 years. Like, like let me just say a message to all the artists out there. Like guys, like everyone is looking for instant fame in this music. Like I want to drop this single and I want to blow up.
Yeah,
I want to be like Little Uzi Vert, like tomorrow, you know, I got this hit tomorrow. I want to be the next Little Uzi Vert. Yeah. Or it's like, guys, like a Drake character, like let's just say a Drake. Yeah. Like how many millions of dollars have went into Drake to be the person that he is now? So how in any way, shape or form are you going to get to that level without that capital being invested into you, without those millions of ads, your face being on billboards, your face being on all these advertisements? Like you can't get to a megastar level without like investing the capital and doing all the work to get to that level. Of course. You know? Like there's no other way around it, right? And it's like we're saying, like, okay, Nelk Boys, 8 years ago, it's like, you gotta start, you're like, the day you post your first song, the day you post your first video on YouTube, the day you post whatever, that's day one.
Start counting to 5 years.
Exactly. That's day one. Not like, I mean, a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I just released my first single, but no, I've been making music for the past 8 years. So they think, because I've been making music for the past 8 years,
but no one sees shit. No one sees shit, though.
Yeah, like, your day one starts from the day that you actually go and present yourself to the world.
Correct. Of course. Correct.
And that's when you're a baby. You're a baby. Yeah. Like you gotta climb.
Because until then, you're just judging yourself. You're really gonna know until you put it out.
You have no proof of concept. You have no idea if your sound is speaking to people. You have no idea if your videos are speaking to people. You know, your content. Like it's. Yeah, I agree. The first day you put yourself out there to the world is your real day one. You could have been doing that thing for 30 years. Yeah. Until you show people what it is.
Because it's a totally different ballgame. Like you're saying, it's not the music.
But then that's where the fear of being judged comes into play. I've been making music for 5 years, but 5 years later I put out my first song. But it's like, how are you ever going to know if you're good if you don't show people? Yeah. Well, I was scared of what they were going to think.
So that 5 years was just like, you could have done that 5 years in 5 days, bro.
Yeah.
That 5 years could have done it in 5 days. And I'm not discrediting any work that someone does and they don't put it out yet. Like, there's people that have put in work. I know artists too that they're scared to put their stuff out. I know guys that have been making music 3-4 years and they will not put their stuff out. Yeah. And it sucks because no one's going to know you were doing that for 4 or 5 years. Yeah. We know Nelk was doing that for 7-8 years. Why? Because they showed us.
You got to put yourself out there.
So now we look at them now and we're talking about them right now and the change they made. and we're more impressed because we know their story. We're more impressed now because we know your story.
Yeah.
But for someone to just come out and be like, yo, it's my first single, but yo, I swear I've been doing this for 8 years. It's like, yeah, but no one knows or cares, so you're in trouble.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and I'm saying it in a really dickish way, bro. But but I'm just kind of trying to put it there that it's really
Guys,
that simple.
and you know what? You have to tell people, like, guys, it's hard.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
To get the thing that everybody wants but can't have, like, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, and the best way that you're gonna succeed is if you are like, okay, I got 10 years to accomplish this goal. Then you can be like, okay, damn, in 1 year I can accomplish this much.
Yeah.
And in 5 years I can do this. Like, it's realistic. Like, I can be like, okay, I think to myself, like, I want to be on Drake's level. I want to be one of the biggest artists in the world. I want to be, definitely, that's my dream. I want to be one of the biggest artists in the world, right? And it's like, yo, in 5 to 10 years I could do that.
Yeah.
I can see, like, off the little progress that I've gained.
Yeah, but
like,
don't try to do it by March. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you
I'll
gotta
be so
real.
discouraged if I'm
Of
like,
course.
yo, I'm like, March comes, I had all these high expectations.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a great spin-off, is like, okay, the podcast is called Money Buys Happiness, right? I want to ask you guys a question. What do you guys consider to be?
This guy got, bro, that's like,
That's our question.
that's our
we ask
question.
at
At the end, we're always like, okay, before we shut this down, the podcast is called MBH Podcast, Money Buys Happiness. What are your thoughts on it? So you want to ask us?
No, I want to ask you guys, okay, maybe I just want to ask you,
Okay.
what do you guys define as happiness? Like, what would you guys define as happiness?
Ooh, that's such a huge question, man.
Well, I can go at it a little bit. I think
Okay.
for everyone it's different. I mean,
Yes.
it's your own happiness,
Absolutely.
right? But I think it's enjoying life in the present time, and then figuring out ways to always have that moment for the rest of your life. So always being happy. I think being happy comes from that current moment that you're in.
Amazing.
I think that's when you feel the real happiness. So where money ties in with that quick, because I want to tie it in, is that there's things in life that would make me very happy, like traveling all the time, living on a beach, most likely, having nice cars, being able to take care of my family. If I have kids, they're going to the best schools. Like freedom. That's freedom. But I think having a plan with what makes you happy is very important. And I think the best way to do that is to think about what's made you happy in the past. So that's what I kind of do. And I think happiness is a moment kind of thing where you have it for that moment.
Love that
and it's
answer.
gone, unfortunately.
It doesn't have to be gone, man.
I mean, not gone. It's still in the history.
Happiness
It's
left.
in the history books that happened, but
Right.
you won't feel the same way.
Oh, well, it'll come back,
It'll
but
come
I guess
back, okay.
it won't be like, it's not gonna stay.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like
that-
what I'm trying to say is, for me, it's like more
then
in
wait.
the moment type of thing.
But that being said, it will kind of like, if you kind of dissect that, it kind of make it seems like you're not happy then most of the time.
No, that's not true.
Because if you're only happy in that moment, that only comes once in a while, then that would mean that in those times where it's not that moment is like...
Yeah, but everyone's gonna have those moments. There's no one that's happy every single second.
Uh-huh.
So that's something of life that I've accepted. There's times where you're not gonna be happy.
Right.
Money's not gonna save that. Money can't save that. Never mind. Money can't save that. But I think that there's always gonna be moments where you're not happy. I don't think there's anyone in this world has lived their whole life happy the whole time.
Absolutely.
Right. So I look at that and I look at the past things that have made me happy, and I look at the future when I say stuff like living on a beach and stuff that will make me happy at that moment. Right. So I try to figure out ways to get to that kind of happiness again, knowing what's happened in my life.
Yeah, I love that. It's amazing.
Your turn, bro.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to follow that up. I think happiness is different for everybody. Like, for some people, it's taking care of their family. Their whole life, they focus on, hey, let me just work, make money so that I can feed my family. That's all I want to do. Some people are more complex. Some people have different things that bring them happiness. Some people have 20 things that bring them happiness. Some people have 10. But that also could be from just not being able to experience as many things as someone else. And that's where, for me, money ties in, right? Money lets you experience more things, like traveling to different countries, like driving a nice car, like eating high-end
Freedom,
food.
just having that
It's the
freedom.
freedom, right? So I think that, like, the more freedom you have, I think the more likely you are to be happy, because
Absolutely.
you can make the choices. Do I want to eat good food today, or do I want to go to McDonald's? Do I want to fly to French Polynesia today and chill with Kim Kardashian, or do I just want to
sounds like fun.
stay at home in my
sounds
or
like
stay
very
at
fun,
home in
bro.
my
Fun.
pajamas? Like, if like the guy who has the options, or the person who has the options for all those things, I think is more likely to be happy than the person who just doesn't, right? And a lot of times, just because this is the way our world works, money is that deciding factor.
Yeah.
If everyone could pick up tomorrow and be like, I'm flying to Germany, I'm flying to India, I'm flying there to do this, and that, for sure, then money doesn't matter if everyone could just pick up and do that.
Yeah.
But that's that deciding factor where it's like, shit.
It would take away a lot of stress, and I think like stress maybe might be a killer of happiness. So people are so worried about money. People are so worried about all these things that it kind of prevents you from being happy because you have so much other stuff on your mind that are kind of like overweighing.
Even if happiness is right in front of you, sometimes that's shielded by
your worries,
your
fears.
and the world that we are living in it's run by money. So whether that's, can I pay my rent this month? Do I have enough to make my car payment? Do I have enough to give my kid the birthday gift they want? Do I have enough for this, that, da, 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 da?
But that's cancerous, because even if you worry, it's not going to make the money come, right? Like having any of those thoughts is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but when I agree. But when it comes to survival, that's where ultimately we are just animals, right? So now your survival instinct comes into play, and you're like, shit, if I can't even provide for myself or my family or keep a roof over my head, doesn't matter what's going on around you.
Yeah, when that survival instinct kicks in, is
and then that's where exactly.
Where are you gonna find happiness in that? You know,
it's
because
like
you're trying to survive.
So,
you're not even trying to look for happiness, right?
Correct. And so that's where, now bouncing back to this Money Buys Happiness podcast, and the saying behind that is, once you have that money, it will let you focus more on what's going on around you, and you can see what really brings you happiness and what doesn't, right? And if it's the nice car, or if it's just being able to spend more time with your family, or if it's the flight to this place, or if it's just having so much money in your bank that you don't have to work ever again. You can sit at home all day and play video games. I don't know. Like, for everyone, it's different, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that it's that. Like, once the money buys you enough to handle like what you need to survive, everything else is up to you and the person.
And then you have like extra for like to actually live your life and be
correct.
free. You know
And then everything else like comes into like, oh, I enjoy reading on Sundays, whereas that guy might just want to go for a run, or this person likes eating McDonald's. I don't know. Like, that's where everyone's happiness differs. Mm-hmm. But I think it starts from like a survival thing, right?
And I think finding happiness too, you need to have the freedom to explore different options too.
Which I was saying in the beginning,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So like you said, I know traveling makes me happy because I've traveled. I needed money to do that though.
Right.
See what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? I know I don't like going to that $300 steakhouse because I went and I tried it. It doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
I know I won't
It's
go.
not worth the value.
You see what I'm saying? Now those are the smaller examples, but I feel like you need to have options, especially early on in life, to see what makes you happy, or else you won't even know.
Absolutely.
One person could be happy just chilling on their porch their whole life, but do they know what it feels like to be in Tulum on the beach chilling, right? I'm serious though, right? They don't experience it, so they don't even know if it makes them happy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so
how about you though?
Yeah.
Okay, money buys happiness.
Money buys happiness. Let's go on that.
Money buys happiness. Okay, guys. So I just want to say, can I just tell you what the guru defined happiness in?
Let me hear.
Obviously.
That's the guy I want to vote for. Guru.
Defined it, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
So it's basically happiness is feeling complete. All right, it's feeling complete without any external influence. So a lot of the times, right, it's like we're gonna say, like, money buys happiness, right? We're gonna say some people, money is their thing, right? But a lot of people sometimes, like, a relationship is their thing. Mm-hmm. They want a husband or a wife, you know, like
nowadays you need money for those two. As we were saying, we were talking about
you
before,
do, right? But it's like, no, they're attaching their happiness. Like, even if they had money, they're like, oh no, but I don't have a girlfriend. Like, you know, it's like they're attaching their happiness to, you know, all these things, right? So my guru defined happiness as like feeling complete without needing any external influence. So it's like you don't need like even your basic attachments, like your family, you know, it's like something that you would not think like, oh my gosh, without my family, how could I be happy? But yes, essentially, if you really wanted to have true happiness, if you were isolated, this is how I always like to tell people, if you were on an island, butt naked, no clothes, in your rawest form, okay, no technology, no friends, no thing, you would have to find happiness in that moment. Yeah. That's where you're gonna find true happiness, right? It's when your expectations, right? This is when pain and suffering happens. This is when you don't feel happy, is when your expectations don't match your reality, right?
There you go.
So you think like, oh, I want to be here, you know, and that's the thing, is like, that's where it's like, oh, I need this to be happy, I need that to be happy, I need happy. It's like, you're going to be miserable because you're setting this expectation that if I don't have this, and that, I can't be happy.
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of limits on how you feel and what you need to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I would say that's blocking us from happiness and feeling good is our own selves, our preferences, our possessions, the things we like and we dislike, the things that we're so attached to is actually the biggest thing that makes us like in pain and suffering.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would say, like, for me, I love money buys happiness, and I think that money is also a byproduct of MBH. Money is a byproduct of happiness.
MBIH. Money, no, is that's a lot of things. I was way off.
MVPH. MVPH byproduct.
I'm not a letters and grammar guy, so we'll cut that out. Not explain, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I agree. It's bro, like, going back to why I said happiness for me was more like a moment. Then I don't think you can
that, because in that moment where you're so present, you're like, it's exactly kind of what I'm saying is like, you don't need nothing else. You don't have no expectations.
Yeah.
In that moment, you're so happy, everything is satisfied. You're
exactly.
like,
and that's why I
moment,
compared it to moments,
you know?
right? Because even talking about, let's say that moment that you got that message and said you got verified, you were happy as fuck.
Right.
But you might still be happy about it now, but not the same kind of happy than when you first saw it, right? I think that the more moments you can create like that, and it's hard to create that kind of moment, obviously, right? But I think doing things that make you happy create more of those moments, right?
Absolutely.
An example would be like when we create an event. We're not too happy when we're planning it the whole time. Like it's pretty stressful, right? But that moment that you're at the event,
and everything's clicking, and
like
everything's
last year I was at the
good.
Mustache Project and I just stopped for like 2 seconds and I like looked around and I was happy. I was like, yo,
So rewarding.
everything came, right? And everything worked out and that's like a moment for me, right? Am I still happy about that situation? Yeah, I guess, but it doesn't mean too much to me. But that's one thing that made me so happy at that
But
one moment.
what was it about that moment? Let's dissect that moment. What was it?
It was all.
What was the feeling
man.
like? It was like you felt successful, you felt accomplished.
Yeah,
you
I think
felt
it was like a lot of hard work
proud.
that went into it, knowing how many people were involved, knowing that we were trying to do something like this for 6 years, you know, and like over time.
And then all of it coming together, but
Yeah.
even just like it was also for charity. Like, so it was just like all this work we put, it wasn't even to make $1, bro.
We
It
actually
was
lost
literally
money.
we lost money, but it was that we could give to something good.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so many things that were just good from like a core and true feeling that it just was like, yeah, like you said, you looked around all the hard work and that was huge and that was happiness, and then just thinking like, what did I do this for? Like, what was the purpose behind all of this?
Right.
And that had a good core value, the purpose. So it was just like, shit.
And even people can go and they can say, maybe, you know what, being with my kids and my husband makes me happy, right? But what about if you're with them at a dinner table and all you're thinking about is all the bills you can't pay? Now you're not happy with them.
But it's like,
you see what I'm saying?
The problem
that's
is
that's society. That's society.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's internally that person has a beautiful family in front of him, has so much things to be happy for, has money to buy food, has beautiful children in front of him, has every reason in the world to be happy, right?
Yeah.
But their mind is stuck on materialistic things, right? To be honest with you, things that are really like not of substance.
Yeah.
And it's causing them to
But
like
I'm saying those are the classic answers you hear when you hear what makes you happy. Oh, my family makes me happy. My health makes me happy. I could sit here and tell you my health makes me happy. I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day though.
But
so what am I really saying? Is that really making me happy?
And that's why I don't agree with it, is because nothing can make you happy.
Yeah.
You can make yourself happy.
Yeah.
You have to go to war with your own self and be like, yo, you're gonna be happy. Like, I don't care what's happening.
This shit out.
If someone's dying, or you're sick, or you don't have no money, like, you have to find that happiness in your most rawest form. Right? And that's who you are. That's who we are. Our true nature, that baby, was that happy, blissful. That's your true nature.
That's when we knew nothing though.
And it's when you know things is when you disconnect from who you really are. It's like this knowledge, as much as it's good, it's also a curse. It's a double-edged sword, because it's distracting you from the things that are really important.
And I think that's why it takes a very strong-minded person to be happy.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many distractions. It's discipline. There's distractions day in, day out, work, Instagram, this, that. And then that's where it comes back to the dancing with the devil side of things, right? you got to be very strong-minded, very disciplined to be able to dance with the devil and move up.
And not let it
fucking
affect
twerking,
you.
I'm fucking twerking with the devil out here. I'm fucking bubbling with the mats out here, bro. No, but you talked about even you versus you. That's a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
So I want to kind of get into this before we end
shout
this
out my boy
podcast.
Delphin, because that's his brand too. You versus you.
You versus you.
Amazing slogan.
Yo, what do you do to get in your mind? What do you do to get in your zone?
All right, well, I got a perfect entry into this. All right, guys. So I came with a gift today to the MBH podcast. All right. So these are 5 tabs of acid right here.
There we go,
all
people.
Right? 5
You're seeing it
tabs
for the
of
first
acid,
time.
All right. This might be crazy, but guys, psychedelics is a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein, many of the world's greatest intellects have a history of using psychedelics. In the 1960s, a lot of people, they tried, the government has really tried to hush this down. But in the 1960s, there was a huge LSD wave, psychedelic wave where that's how the 70s and 80s came with all that hippie stuff, is because in the 60s, they were channeling into these higher frequencies, these higher energies, love, peace, love to everyone, because they're doing these psychedelics. So psychedelics, this journey of doing psychedelics is the journey of within, you know? You're gonna go to war with yourself. It's vulnerability. You're gonna have to you shatter all these layers of yourself, and you get to see yourself for who you really are when you take a psychedelic. It's called ego death, right? That's what they say about the psychedelics is ego death. You experience it. And you're so you get to know yourself. And I was telling Anthony earlier, is when you know yourself as a businessman, you know your customer, because we are customers, right? Yeah. We are consumers. We are being affected by everyone else's advertisements and all their propaganda and all this. So if you can boil that down and see, okay, I have behaviors like this, I'm programmed like this, when I watch an ad, it catches me like this, and this is how I'm susceptible to all these things. You understand yourself. Yeah. You understand how a human being works. Yeah. You understand almost how every human being works. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's the deeper that you get into yourself, the deeper you one of my keys to success that I wanted to share with you, with the world, is invest in yourself, you know, and it's not just always monetary investment. It's also knowing yourself, you know, becoming one with yourself, loving yourself, you know, that's the biggest thing. And I think meditation is one of the biggest things that I could recommend, you know, is meditation, because guys, what do you do when you meditate? You sit with yourself. You listen to yourself. This is meditation. A lot of people don't know what meditation is. Let me try to explain to you as best it is. It's first, you're gonna they always tell you silence, right? Just focus on your breath, right? What is that for? You wanna be silent so you can understand what is going on in my head, right? So I meditate, right? This past few months, and this week, let's say for example, it's really nice when I sit down and meditate, because I'll be kind of flustered. I'll sit down and meditate, and I'll be okay, my brain's oh, my clients, oh, my music, oh, my family, this and that, and then I'm yo, my mind is racing over things that if I just talk to myself for a second, okay, my clients are gonna be handled. I gotta do this task. I'm gonna get it done here. My mom, okay, I'm gonna check in on her. Okay, my music, okay, my release is on the 28th. Calm down. Everything's fine. You have a plan. But if you don't sit with yourself,
no, you don't get to do that.
You're running in circles the whole day.
Yeah.
Right? So it's it's an essential part to connect with yourself and invest into yourself. Learn more, grow more, because as you grow, your opportunities are going to grow. Yeah. What did Elon Musk say? Elon Musk says you are paid relative to how many problems you solve in this world, right? He's basically saying that's what was a paraphrase. So if you want to make lots of money, you need to grow yourself to be a really smart, skilled, techniqued person who knows how to do a lot of things.
Problem solver.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's for us, we're problem solvers, right? That's why we're big right now in what we're doing, because we're on the social media wave. A lot of people is yo, I'm clueless with social media. We're gonna solve your problem. We've been the past 10 years trying to figure this out. We've been chipping at it, so it's we're problem solvers, right? And it's the more things that you can solve, the more that you're gonna grow, right? And I know us three, we're like that. We're always looking for the next come up, the next way we can make money. Okay, we learned this. Oh, we know how to do YouTube engagement. All right, now we can start offering this, right? So my advice, guys, is read books and transform your body. You know what I'm saying? Like work out, because as you shred all these limits inside of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, and you do stuff that you're not normally, it's like you turn into a new person.
Yeah.
You are a new person. You're a new
just from the things that you've done. That's the thing, right? No one's controlling. It's you just changing you.
Everyone knew you as this person, but you just went and learned how to do this and that and that. You're not the same person. You're more outspoken. You're more confident. You've almost done it. You're like Gen 2. You're like V2. Right?
Yeah.
So let's go to Super Saiyan 10, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're growing all the way to the max.
Yeah.
God mode, God level, right? Super Saiyan God mode, right?
Jeez.
Yeah, bro. That's dope, bro. Honestly, for me, I started meditating. I love it, bro.
Yeah, I gotta get more into it.
I was like, I probably started about a year ago. I called this guy maybe like 2 months after one time, and I'm like, bro, I think I felt something today, bro. Because like it's hard, bro. When you start meditating, you don't feel much because you're trying to learn how to do it properly and not think about it. Like you don't want to think about meditating while you're meditating, right? And I got like a breakthrough one day and actually like fucking like controlled my thoughts for like that 20-30 seconds, and I was like, what? Did I just do that?
It's peaceful.
It was trippy. It was like, yo, you can control what's going on in your mind, right? And I called this guy. I was like, bro, you gotta get on this shit, bro. This is some crazy shit. But you've been doing it for time, bro. That's crazy. Because like I only started I heard about it, but I never like really took it serious till like last year, bro.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing it for 3 years, and it's like on off. Guys, by the way, I want to give you guys one each. It's an acid tab. Okay. You guys can microdose, so you guys can cut up the tabs into like much smaller portions just to kind of like ease your way into it.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go full force, fam.
Guys, listen, if the world starts crumbling down after that, like don't blame me, because this is like use it at your own risk. You're definitely gonna go through a whole experience.
So it's just like this on the tongue, boom, that's it.
That's it. Just a little paper tab. You're not gonna feel anything. Doesn't taste like anything. And then in like 30 minutes,
jeez, I'm not going at it now.
This might be like the best gift we've ever got.
There you go.
For real. I'm gonna put this on.
JPoet, the Moonchild, came and brought acid to the MBH podcast. This is the clickbait. All right, we brought acid.
Mom, I didn't take it yet. I swear,
guys. If your parents are watching this, I'm a good influence, guys. Talk to them. I'm actually a good guy. Okay.
Great guy. Listen, on that note, we'll have you back for sure.
We gotta have you back.
We'll have you back. I know there's so much more we can talk about.
Next time we have you back, we're gonna.
Easy. Anyways, listen, man.
Actually, you know what? Me and Ernesto, we're gonna shoot one in Ecuador. We're gonna shoot an episode. We're gonna send you guys.
We'll see you guys in Ecuador, guys.
Listen, on that note, man.
I appreciate you coming, bro.
Appreciate you coming, man. Big talks, and you spit a lot of good knowledge, and I'm excited for our listeners and our viewers to have a chance to hear what you know, because you've done a lot, and we appreciate having you out, man, and. We'll definitely have you out again, man.
Hey, man, thank you guys so much for having me. It was such a blessing. I think what you guys are doing for the culture, what you guys are doing for people our age, giving us this, opportunity to come showcase ourselves, and like, just as I've told you guys, like I really look up to you guys, and
thank you, man. Appreciate that, bro.
We're all from the same culture. We all are like, coming from the same generation, and I look up to you guys as, people who's really doing something big.
Appreciate it, man.
Same way.
Yes,
and I appreciate you guys having me here. I want to end off one closing note.
Hit it.
Guys, my key to success that I could tell you from my years of living, if I could share with you guys, is be grateful.
Yeah.
The universe is going to give you more when you tell the universe that you're completely satisfied with what you have at this exact moment.
Genius, bro.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah, man.
Shout out gratitude.
That's it.
All right, boys.
Listen, on that note, holy shit. I haven't been more grateful for talent. On that note, man, I appreciate it, and we'll be back. Episode 4, we out.
Great to be here. Love it, guys. Thank you
go.
so much. Peace out.